Hello everybody, Tyron the God 3 here, and welcome to a Dragon Ball discussion that I decided to do because I just recently reviewed episode 72 of Dragon Ball Super, and the events that happened in Dragon Ball Super in the most recent episode actually solidifies some of the things that triggers this discussion. Most noticeably the fact that what's been the occurring theme within all of Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, and even to some extent Dragon Ball GT. If anyone has watched the Dragon Ball franchise, then you will know that there's a large 90s anime-esque rivalry between two of the most strongest characters in the series, with the exception of Beerus, Whis, and all the other gods, between Goku and Vegeta. And obviously, between this rivalry, Goku always seems to come out on top, even though there have been various situations where Vegeta, in theory, should be stronger. What fuels Vegeta's entire character and makes him go beyond the limits of what he could have potentially done after they fought him in the Saiyan Saga was the fact that Vegeta saw a rivalry in Goku, where constantly throughout the series, Goku would do serious feats that would make Vegeta jealous, envious, or strive in order to become stronger to meet those standards of power. But it seemed that for some reason, Goku was always 1 or even 5 steps ahead of him, which fueled his anger and brought him through many character changes moments within both Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super, and like I said, to some extent, Dragon Ball GT. But why is this? Why is it the fact that no matter how hard Vegeta trains and no matter how much Vegeta pushes himself to the limit, he can never be as strong as Goku? Well, I'm here in this discussion video to basically say that it's not even the fact that Vegeta is weaker than Goku. I feel that in some cases, Vegeta is actually stronger than Goku in a lot of cases. In fact, Vegeta has been stronger than Goku many a times within the series. When they first met and had their epic battle in their debut of the series during the Saiyan Saga, Vegeta actually showed to be a lot stronger than Goku due to him just being a better high-class fighter who had experiences fighting off against several vicious aliens from other races and just being born of a prodigy, while Goku had all of his power worked up from the bottom. He started off as a low-class Saiyan and then trained up with various different masters from all over Earth, and then later in the other world with King Kai, in order to meet up with strength that didn't even come close to Vegeta's at the start of the battle. What was the real game changer, however, was the fact that Goku had learned the techniques of King Kai, most noticeably the Kaioken, which was able to boost Goku's power temporarily to the point where he was able to surpass Vegeta. Goku, even surpassing his own expectations, raised his Kaioken level ×4, which he wasn't supposed to do, as he was limited to 2 times Kaioken, due to the fact that any more would strain his body. But because of Goku's determination and willpower and just shonen awesomeness that it would be for the fans, Goku was able to even higher those expectations by doubling that amount and going Kaioken type 4 in order to overpower Vegeta. Obviously, Vegeta in his Ozaru, or Grade 8 form, was strong enough to overpower Goku, especially while weakened Goku with torn up muscles. However, this does show that without the assistance of the full moon emitting Bloods waves, Vegeta in a one-on-one fight with Goku shows to have the disadvantage if Goku pushes himself past the limits and beyond. Further, as the series goes throughout, it seems that Vegeta is sort of rushing behind Goku, as Goku has found many situations where he can surpass Vegeta in power or in just plain technique. So, what if I were to tell you all this? During the Namekian Saga, or the Frieza Saga if you would, Vegeta actually had some instances where he was stronger than Goku, within the instance of him fighting off against Frieza. When he got the Zenkai boost, it can be most noticeably admitted that Vegeta was probably stronger than Goku was when he fought Captain Ginyu. However, due to the fact that Goku got a Zenkai boost after healing from the fight with Captain Ginyu and the others, it seemed that Goku's power had taken a certain rise. The training that he did under 100 times normal gravity within the spaceship in order to make it to planet Namek definitely helped. However, there's even more instances of Vegeta being stronger than Goku. While it's kind of unclear how strong Vegeta was in comparison to Goku during the beginning of the Android Saga when Vegeta fought against Android 19 and Super Saiyan, Goku's shown to be weaker. But that was mostly due to the fact that he had a heart virus. Another instance of Vegeta being stronger was during the Cell Saga, or Imperfect Cell Saga if you will, where second form Cell was destroying various areas in the archipelagos. Vegeta had got out of the hyperbolic time chamber and shown to reach Super Saiyan Grade 2. This allowed him to easily overpower Semi-Perfect Cell and for that extent Goku, because Goku did get a Zenkai boost from the heart virus stuff. However, it was not enough to solidify him being stronger than Vegeta at second grade Super Saiyan, meaning that in this instance Vegeta was stronger. Though one of the last and most noticeable moments of Vegeta overpowering Goku was during the case of Dragon Ball Super, in which Vegeta had a rage boost and took Beerus off guard. Or you can take this into Battle of Gods when Vegeta had the very same rage boost and was able to temporarily do damage to Beerus. Although it was light damage, it was unexpected damage at that. A lot of people will overreact by saying Vegeta was just permanently stronger than a Super Saiyan 3 at this moment, but I think it was just the fact that Vegeta had a large rage boost of power and was able to throw Beerus off guard. I mean, if you want further proof that this is correct, think of the fight that Vegeta and Kid Trunks had as a form of training. Vegeta obviously could beat Kid Trunks even if he were a Super Saiyan without the need of having to go Super Saiyan himself any day of the week, but it was the fact that Trunks unexpectedly had a 50 times power boost thanks to turning Super Saiyan that he was able to even land a blow on Vegeta's face and win that amusement park promise. So, it's not really a state of Vegeta being ultimately stronger. However, Master Roshi was the one to point out that Vegeta was stronger than Goku, and that was a very justifiable claim considering the fact that the last time Master Roshi had sensed Goku's power, he was at Super Saiyan 3 fighting Majin Buu, which wasn't that too far off of when he fought Beerus, which Goku was unable to touch Beerus at all during that fight. So now that we got all of those situations out of the way, what really is the secret behind Goku being stronger? There should be several examples of how Goku could actually wind up weaker, one of the biggest ones being the fact that Vegeta went into the hyperbolic time chamber or room of space and time twice, as opposed to Goku only going in once with Gohan. Goku makes the statement that training in there takes way too much out of him and he feels like it's more torturous than training in order to stay in there for long amounts of time. He did it the first time simply because he needed a long amount of time in order to prepare, in order to fight off against the androids and then later Cell. Vegeta went in an extra day, meaning that Vegeta had 2 years of training but still paled in comparison to not only Goku at full power Super Saiyan, but Gohan at Super Saiyan 2 later. So why is this? Why is it the fact that no matter what happens, it still feels like Vegeta's behind? Think about it. Vegeta even had an extra time training in the time chamber again during Dragon Ball Super, and it shows that Vegeta's had long amounts of training with Whis himself, most recently in Dragon Ball Super, and while Goku instead decides to have a hit placed out on himself so that he could fight Hit at full power, well, he eventually gets better at fighting because he learned Hit's fighting style. Well, what if I told you that it's not the fact that Vegeta is weaker or stronger than Goku that makes the difference in their power, but rather the knowledge? One of the biggest examples in Dragon Ball Super's case of how Goku shows to have better martial arts skill or just be better than Vegeta in general was most noticeably due to the fact that Goku was able to hit or land damage on Hit even while at normal state, while Vegeta was unable to do this at Super Saiyan Blue. Obviously, with Vegeta being at Super Saiyan Blue, he should be faster and stronger than base form Goku at any time of the week. However, Goku had experience seeing Hit's Tokitobashi, aka the time skip, and was able to learn a little bit more of it before going into the fight and while fighting Hit to experience it firsthand, and thus he was able to calculate and randomly select areas that Hit would be at in order to strike in those areas, so that he was able to hit Hit before he showed up. These make various situations that allow for Goku to quickly learn the course of battle. If you all don't know this from watching Dragon Ball Z and later Dragon Ball Super, Goku's a pretty fast learner, and the same tricks on Goku won't work multiple times. This can even be seen in Dragon Ball when Goku fought against Tien Shinhan in the World Tournament, or even to a further extent in another tournament when Goku fought off against Pikkon when fighting off against the weird motions of the Thunder Flash move. Goku was able to learn these techniques very quickly and find loopholes in between them. Goku is a very smart fighter and a very well-trained martial artist, which gives him the edge over Vegeta. If you stop to look at Vegeta's training, what do you notice Vegeta's doing? He's exercising. Vegeta mostly exercises as a form of his training. Once he found out that Goku got the boost from the 100 times normal gravity, Vegeta immediately went to Earth and trained to do the exact same thing and wasn't getting much of anywhere. Yeah, he was getting stronger, but he wasn't really getting that much better as a fighter. The reason of this being is that Vegeta mostly would break his ribs or do further damage to his entire body because of the harsh training systems that he put himself under. Yeah, Vegeta was getting stronger, but he wasn't really getting better as a fighter. It's the equivalent to someone who's well known for lifting weights versus someone who's learned various different types of martial arts. Yeah, the person who lifted weights may be stronger, but the person who's learned various skills of martial arts is able to do a lot more greater feats. If you want a better example of what I'm talking about, let's take all of the moves that Vegeta and Goku both know. Vegeta's most noticeable attacks are the Super Energy Volley, the Gallet Gun or Gallet Ho in Japan, the Final Flash, or the Big Bang Attack. All of these attacks do various things, but they all follow the same system. They're all energy blast attacks. But then we take a look at Goku's moves. Goku's moves include the Kamehameha, which is an energy blast move that he learned from Master Roshi. However, other moves he's picked up from his friends and then later other masters. One of these moves being the Solar Flare, which he picked up from Tien Shinhan. Also the After Image technique that Master Roshi taught him in Krillin, which allowed him to quickly move throughout the stage while having a false image of himself to portray himself to fool enemies. Goku also learned the instant transmission technique later when he was out in space with the Yardrats, a warrior race that's known to be most noticeably weaker than any of the Saiyans or anything. Vegeta would never take the time out of his day to train with the race of aliens that are most noticeably weaker from him because he feels like he wouldn't have anything to gain. In fact, the only master that Vegeta is known to have throughout the entirety of Dragon Ball is Whis, and that's simply because Whis was able to allow them to access God Ki. Goku trained under him too. However, instead of training under him even further for the Omniversal tournament that's coming up, Goku decides to train with Hit. Why is this? Yes, Whis is most noticeably stronger and debatably probably has more techniques than Hit, but Hit is more on Goku's level in terms of power, and thus Goku can pick up on Hit's techniques a lot easier due to the fact that their powers are almost even. Goku can learn all of the various time skips, invisible energies, and pocket of parallel moves that Hit has, and learn them enough to where he's able to catch on to them and then further expand upon them. While the instant transmission technique on its own doesn't sound like it would be much of a powerhouse, Goku learning this technique from the Yardrats has allowed him to create his own variations of the Kamehameha technique he learned from Master Roshi. Most noticeably, the instant transmission Kamehameha, or warped Kamehameha as it's called in the video games, in order to trick Cell and blow off half of his body. If that were any other enemy that couldn't regenerate, Goku would have easily won that fight. Goku's more of an open mindset fighter, which allows him to learn techniques and various martial arts skills a lot faster and a lot more open, which allows him to become a better fighter. Even most noticeably in the Goku Black art, it can be stated that Vegeta could probably be stronger than Goku. There's no real power rating or power scaling between these two fighters, but even if Vegeta is stronger than Goku, I can debatably say that Goku would probably still win a fight between the two simply because Goku is just more open-minded. Even in that saga, he learned the Mafuba, and while the Mafuba isn't really a powerhouse in technique, it's more of an immobilization technique, I'm sure Goku would find some creative way to use that to his advantage. The point being is that Goku is more willing to learn techniques that may seem weaker on the surface but actually have the ability to throw the opponents off guard, and thus allowing him to either A, trick his opponents, or B, give him an upper edge just for some exploitable weaknesses that Goku's able to find. One example that I can actually pull from this is from the Plan to Eradicate the Super Saiyans, the original Play Media version, not the new version, in which Goku learns of Hatchak's various weaknesses depending on which version of Hatchak the Z-Warriors are chosen to fight within the game. So because of this, I can say that Goku easily outmatches Vegeta simply off of brain power, strategic moveset, tenacity, and martial arts skill alone. The fact being, Goku is just more keen to learning, whereas Vegeta is just more keen to getting better. Vegeta may be a prodigy, and he may have access to large amounts of strength, but none of that really compares to Goku and his willingness to learn several techniques. You can even take the fusion dance as an example of one of these techniques that Goku learned from another race. But with that said, what are your thoughts? Why do you think Goku is always coming out on top? And obviously, since the writers want him to become stronger since he's the main character, I guess that's an acceptable answer too. But see you all then, everybody. Tyrone the God 3, out.